Hello.
Hey.
Let me get my mask. Come on in.
Yeah.
Hey, nice to meet you. I'll give you the grand tour. So I just got a couple of paintings. That's what I started off doing there on my walls. I got bored on my days off, so I started painting. Steve McQueen and then Senna, and that got boring pretty quick. So I decided I'm going to paint a helmet, and I'll show you those after I show you the booth. So I started slowly buying everything that I need to paint with, and over the course of 4 years it's turned into this mess. So I got my booth here, and it's connected to the window with just a box fan, and then I fashioned some tarps and stuff to bought a lot of guns. I didn't know what I was doing aside from the questions I'd ask you guys or other helmet painters. I started out with an LPH 400, which is way too big of a gun for here.
Yeah,
So
it's hard to get it all exhausted.
yeah,
Like
so
that.
I ended up with a whole lot of stuff that I sold just because I didn't know what I was buying. But I think I've pretty much got everything set up now. When I eventually move out of Oklahoma and buy a house, I'll probably buy an actual stand-up booth with all the proper, fittings and exhaust and all of that good stuff. But this takes care of it for now. And this is where I let helmets dry. I'd only ever work on one helmet at a time because I don't have room for any more. So they dry up there.
Sample paints, you have this spray?
Yeah, I got a pile of speed shapes, but I'd spent so long building this little thing so that's pretty much every ChromaAir color and Auto Air that I use. And so got that. I eventually like to transition it all to speed shapes, but I don't know where I'd put them, honestly. So that's the only one that I've got so far. It's custom creative. I use the ChromaAir, obviously. That entire box is filled with Createx, which I didn't know really the difference between Createx and Auto Air. So
you mean the airbrush colors?
Yeah, the first helmet that I painted with Createx turned, all the colors went horribly wrong as soon as it hit the sun. So
yeah, the Auto Air line is mostly for t-shirts, I'd say, for textiles.
yeah.
Wicked or Auto Air is the right choice. I see I have some Wicked there sitting, so yeah, that's a good paint for.
This is my prep station here. So I do all my taping here. Oh, here, before I forget, I got you some stickers. I do all my taping here. This is the helmet that I'm working on right now. That's the one that's sitting right there. It's actually a couple of different designs a couple of different helmets. I pulled some design elements together and put them all on that. Here's another one of my DIYs. It's just a yoga block that I needed some way to just stick those there real quick and have them sit nice. So I bought a whole pile of yoga blocks and fashioned up some stuff with them. All my tapes, all my blades. And I didn't realize it at first. 90% of my time is spent here. 5% in the booth, and then 5% cleaning up mess.
Yeah, masking and taping, and then a little spray.
It
And then
is,
more
yeah.
of the demasking, taking all this peeling so the paint is not still taking the time.
Yeah, and you'll see on the helmets that I have sitting out there, I quickly found out that the more time you spend preparing and making the surface and stuff nice, the better the end result is.
Okay.
So I've got it done pretty good. You can see some of my brush work still needs.
But you 100% self-taught pretty much on YouTube, you know, getting some
Yeah,
advice.
you guys helped me with the technical stuff on quite a lot of it. An old retired helmet painter from South Florida, Joe Diaz, helps me out a lot. Tag Gasparian from Tagger Designs helps me quite a bit. They answer my questions, but yeah, I just learned as I went. And every helmet, you know, is a lesson. When I think I've got it, I'll do another helmet and realize, oh, I messed up a whole bunch on that and learned something new.
From my understanding, you've been racing motorcycles before.
Yeah, I raced from 5 until 21. Got injured, then went to college, and so all of these helmets right here are done by Troy Lee. He's the preeminent helmet painter in the world. And so I always wanted a Troy Lee helmet, and now that I can afford one, I always said, you know, once I can afford one, I'll buy my own Troy Lee painted helmet. And right around that same time is when I started painting them my own. So a lot of the I've done a few original designs, but as I'm learning still, I tend to just do replicas of old helmets from the 80s and 90s, which is what those are. Those are all from 89 and 90. So that's where the motorcycle bit comes into it. I've done one car helmet. I did a Senna replica for myself. That's how I got into the motorcycle end of it.
Do you mind showing us the rest of the helmets?
Yeah, they're out here in the kitchen. So this is the first one I did, and you can see from the finish on it, it was a used helmet. The trim was already busted up on it, and I had no idea what I was doing. This is all done just using straight Createx paint. And
the airbrush colors for the textile one.
Yeah, it hasn't been in the sun, so it really hasn't changed. A little bit of mustarding on the neon yellow there. But that was the first one I did. And then a whole bunch of other helmets for other people. And then I finally did my Senna helmet. So this was probably done, this was done early this year. Actually, this was right at the start of Corona. I took 2 months off work and painted this. Always wanted a Senna helmet. He's kind of my life hero. And so I did that one. It's his 1988 helmet, I think. And that is all. Let's see. So this is Auto Air. I think this is Auto Air as well, but the green is a mixture of 2 ChromaAir colors. And Chroma Black. No, Auto Air Black, Chroma White. That's yours. And then all of my logos. I have a plotter, a vinyl plotter, but it's just made for crafting. You know, like the little Cricut. I bought a Cricut just because it's tiny, so that's how I cut up all of my stencils for my logos. And then this one was the most recent one that I finished, and that's the Chroma Dark Blue. That's Chroma Very Blue. Chroma Flow Red, more Chroma Flow Red, Chroma Flow Blue. Painted that by hand using a combination of House of Color paints and then Chroma paints, and I think Alpha 6. And then that's the Pearl Blue by Auto Air. But this is the last one that I've done, and I think by this, and then Custom Creative Silver Leaf. And around this one, I think I'm finally getting to understand pre-planning and the steps, and you can't really, there's no sharp ridges in between all the transitions of the colors, and My masking could still use a little bit of work. I don't pull any of this off, I just mask around it. But this is the one I'm most happy with, and that's a Troy Lee D3 bicycle helmet that I'll never use, but it's just wall candy. I painted about 5 of these so far, all for myself. It's just a normal Yeti mug that I just think is funny that I have a gigantic can of Red Bull that I drink coffee out of, and I lose them in airports or on airplanes. One of these days I will come across somebody who has found it and is now using it as their own.
I appreciate you showing us your plans, because it's really inspiring, I think, for somebody who can, want to start painting something but too afraid, they have not enough space, they have not enough skill. You can learn it now, and you can find a corner even in a small room in your house.
Yeah.
Make it.
This one, and that one were actually painted before that booth was made. I bought off of Amazon, I'm sure you've seen them, it's a little collapsible airbrush thing. I took 3 of those and put them together, and then took the exhaust pipes and literally taped them into one and stuck them out the window, and then used cardboard to build it up bigger around. And so these were painted using those, and once I outgrew that, I built what's in there now. But yeah, in that booth there, I might have $300 invested in it, and $150 that was a stainless steel table that it's all sitting on. So you don't have to spend a whole lot to get started. And the guns are getting so good these days, like those no-name guns you guys saw. Those are incredible. You don't have to go buy a $500 soda gun to paint.
Brought you this set.
Awesome.
From Createx. It's a candy paint. I don't think you're playing with this a lot yet.
I haven't done a whole lot of candying. There might be a little candy on none of these. Yeah.
Well, really good stuff for maybe next step when you develop more and more skill, and they're really transparent. So what candy is really transparent, pretty much juice.
Yeah.
And you can do interesting effects when you have them over different colors, so they're gonna look different over white or silver. Different colors. So
yeah.
It's a whole set you need, so you're much mixing 1-to-1.
Okay.
And you with the base, and you can reduce it a little bit and just spray it out, see how it goes. Just to get you a sticker from Createx.
Awesome.
And those are cool. Have you seen those little beanies?
Yeah, it was nice putting a face with the name.
A little setup, and again, guys, it's really inspirational because all the helmets done not in a big studio, not in a body workshop, but back in the back room. What do you call it? Have a name for it?
Idlewild.
Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, back there, and you've seen the space, and it's really amazing what you can do as your just hobby. Pretty much start all by yourself, watch the videos, taught yourself how to airbrush, and use a spray paint. And here we go, good results. So get there, paint something if you want to, and don't be shy. Right?
Yeah.
Right. Well, thank you for having us.
Thank you.
Type of
it was nice to meet you.
Me too.